Hi, I'm Michelle Begue with a look at what's happening in Latin America now. But first, our news trivia. Which Latin American country is performing indigenous rituals to help one of their lakes recover from drought? We'll have the answer later. Several Latin American countries are bringing back their citizens from the war-torn Israel-Gaza region. This comes after the Palestinian militant group Hamas launched a surprise assault on Israel. Brazil's Air Force commander said the country sent 6 aircrafts to repatriate nationals stranded in the region, where Israel has now declared war on Hamas. Mexico sent planes to repatriate 300 citizens. Argentina reports 7 of its citizens have died in the conflict and 15 have disappeared. On the whole continent of the Americas, at least 27 citizens have disappeared. Colombia sent 2 flights. Those planes are expected to be back next weekend with citizens. This weekend, citizens of Ecuador will vote for their new president, who will serve a shortened 17-month term. President Guillermo Lasso called on the special election when he dissolved the National Assembly by decree this past May to avoid impeachment. The runoff election will be disputed between center-right candidate Daniel Noboa and the left-wing candidate Luisa González. Now let's go to Argentina with my colleague Joel Richards, who has a special report.
Michelle, there are less than 2 weeks to go until Argentina holds presidential elections. The 5 candidates went head-to-head in the final presidential debate last Sunday. The focus was on crime, corruption and climate change. Sparks flew as Economy Minister Sergio Massa and Conservative Patricia Bullrich looked to win over voters and reduce the gap with the libertarian Javier Milei. Milei appears to be the front-runner in the presidential race after winning the most votes in the primaries. The self-proclaimed anarcho-capitalist has turned this year's elections, and with it Argentine politics, on its head with his aggressive style, his extreme views and his economic plan. In an interview on Monday, he ratified his pledge to do away with the central bank and move forward with his plan to dollarize Argentina's economy. This political context has placed more pressure on the peso this week. That in turn fuels inflation, which is now running at over 120% according to the latest available official figures. But that figure is accelerating and the country now has double-digit monthly inflation. Argentines go to the polls on October the 22nd. If there's no outright winner, there will be a head-to-head in November to decide who takes office at the Casa Rosada in December. But given the political and economic climate, there's a heightened level of uncertainty about what could happen in the coming days, weeks and months.
Brazilian police in Rio de Janeiro deployed 1,000 agents to 3 favelas in the north and west of the city. It's a show of force to fight against drug gangs that are dominating crowded and low-income communities. Among them are Complexo da Mare, Vila Cruzeiro, and Cidadela de Deus. The Comando Vermelho drug trafficking cartel is considered the most powerful in Rio. Officials say they're trying to expand their territory, which is causing conflicts with other criminal organizations. The popular tourist city has seen a series of high-profile violent acts. One of them was the shooting of 3 doctors at a beach bar who might have simply been accidental victims of a conflict between gangs in the area. Now let's check out what stories we're following for next week. Colombia's government and the guerrilla group EMC have postponed formal peace talks and a ceasefire. They were set to begin on Sunday. The government of President Gustavo Petro and the leaders of the group called for an immediate suspension of attacks as a way to protect citizens from getting caught in the crossfire. The talks will now be launched on October 16th. While both sides have expressed their willingness to negotiate peace, ceasefires have been frustrated by persistent fighting between the EMC and the security forces in the war-torn southwest of Colombia. And now the answer to our news trivia. The answer is C. The Aymara indigenous people of Peru are performing a ritual on the lake of Titicaca. They are asking the goddess of water called Mamacocha to bring rain to the drought-hit region. Lake Titicaca is the highest navigable lake in the world, and it has been at critical low levels of water. Many farmers and indigenous communities rely on the lake for their livelihoods. The lake is shared by Peru and Bolivia. The Aymaras live in both countries, but in this case, only the Aymaras from Peru are holding the rituals. And that's it for this week. We'll see you again soon on Latin America Now.